And I noticed on your problem list for today, you've got woefully behind on project.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice piece. It's about different country economies, and the four of us. I'm editing it sort of, and the three other people are writing pieces from different countries, and I just they got me their first draft, and now it's my job to kind of put it together and give secondary tasks, and I'm a little behind on that.
Okay. A little behind?
Yeah, it's not dead yet, but if I don't get on it, it's gonna be a problem, and so I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna get to it, to be honest.
So that's why it ended up on your problem list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a problem, and I don't know. I'm just behind.
When is it due? When is the drop dead?
Well, I got to get it to. I was supposed to get it to them, my piece yesterday, which is just some editorial of their work and some filler, and I didn't do that. And the drop dead date to the editor is about 5 days. Usually I give it to them 7 days in advance of that, so I'm behind a day and a half.
Okay. Is this tragic? Is this irreparable?
No, if I get it done in the next couple days, which is I've done before, even day and a half, it's fixable. But I've just had a hard time doing that.
Okay. In your current depressed state, with your current level of energy and concentration, can you do what needs to be done?
Well, that's the problem. I don't feel like I can, but I know it's that I'm just scattered.
So how have you gotten a day and a half behind? What's not happening, or what's happening that shouldn't be happening?
Right. What's happening is that I stare a lot. I feel my energy's low, and there's so much to go through, and my concentration isn't as good. So I'll find myself reading, and I'm not thinking about what they're writing really, and how I'm going to tie it together, and so I end up not focusing a lot, and then stuff's scattered all over the desk. Then I get up and I go take a drink of water, and I come back, and I'm not planning. It seems like I usually can.
Okay. This sounds like it might be a good opportunity for us to work on something using a step-by-step approach to problem solving. Sometimes it's called graded task. Sometimes it's called de-chunking.
That's how it feels on me. There's this huge chunk, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, so like it's so large and heavy, it's weighing you down.
Right.
And the de-chunking would actually be to break it down so that you could carry it in 4, 5, 6 trips as opposed.
That'd be helpful.
What would be your first step?
Well, I think my first step is just, like we talked about before with pulling the horse along for something. I just have to make myself do it and not get up and distract myself.
Let me give you your...
And maybe I guess if I write a schedule out about when I'm going to do stuff.
Let me give you your weekly activity schedule back, because I guess here's when the project's due.
Right.
And here we are today.
Right.
So here's the time you've got in between.
Right.
And here you have the rest of hours today.
Right.
And tomorrow. So if the first step is to actually identify time that you must focus on this.
Okay. Well, I think, what I did yesterday, I know right in here we'd had a lunch, and some of these things are optional, but they're easier to do than work. So I think if I read Jill's stuff, I can do that in this hour. And if I read John's here, and Freddie's here, I can get, I think I can get these read today. I just got to do it. And then if I write, if I write the stuff here, I think that'll help. I think what I did, I floated through yesterday thinking I had more time than I did, and it just passes before I knew it. So
I want to make sure you're not signing yourself up for tasks that are too demanding, because there is this tendency to apply your old self, your old time estimates to now, where you can't do it.
Well, in my good days, I can actually, something like this, I could get done in one day. So I'm giving myself a day and a half.
Okay.
And
are you working at 2/3 capacity?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so a day and a half might be enough time.
It feels like I'm pushing myself, but I know that's because I'm just, you know.
Okay.
But
So-
I think I can do that.
So let's say you're starting to read
Yeah.
and you're running into trouble. You can't think clearly. You can't remember. What can you do to intervene? How can you break that chunk, that 1 hour chunk, down into a smaller unit if you had to?
I almost did this yesterday, but I was a little embarrassed to do it because I'm behind. I could go to Jill
Mm-hmm.
and just take 15 minutes and have her give me a synopsis
Mm-hmm.
of this piece, so I don't have to read it all because my concentration is not good. So maybe if I schedule, you know, a 15-minute block with Jill here and a 15-minute block with John here and Freddie here, maybe they can give me a synopsis of it and I can see if I got it right.
So it looks to me like we've got either 4 or 5 steps in order to go after this problem. And one was to plan your day and map out how you're going to do this, to divide the tasks down. The next was to actually clear your desk and get all the materials that you needed right in front and organize.
Right.
And the next step was to have each of the 3 appointments with your subordinates to go through their pieces and to get their synopsises, is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And then we've got you with time you've allocated tomorrow to do your writing, your bridging. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that'll work. I think I can get that done.
Okay, great. What I'd like you to do then, right before you start to do the first step, is to go through this again and just make sure that you've identified all the elements. And if you've come to anything that seems too hard or too difficult, I'd like you just to go ahead and try to break that down into a smaller unit. And again, we're looking at not completing this as well as you would at your best, not completing this as quickly as you would at your best, but simply using this stepwise strategy to get this done and to get through it.
That's great, and I think it'll work if I do it in these steps because usually I do it without thinking. So, but yesterday I just spaced out and didn't get it done.
Okay.